Hi, it's Mimi at Giggly Guppy. Today I'm going to be reading some stories from this book, Unlikely Friendships by Jennifer Holland. The first one I'm going to read today took place in Germany in the year 2000, and it's called The Asiatic Black Bear and the Black Cat. From the look of things, there's something about these two glossy black animals with matching perk-up ears and mellow attitudes that just says family. But the smooth-haired domestic cat and the shaggy Asiatic bear share little DNA. Dogs are more closely related to bears than cats are. So in the case of Mushi the cat and Maushin the bear, blood ties don't bind them. Something else keeps them together. No one at the Berlin Zoo, where Mauchen has been housed for over 40 years, knows where Mushi came from. We observed her back in 2000 suddenly living in the black bear's enclosure, and she'd struck up a friendship with the old lady bear, says curator Heiner Kloss. It's unusual to see this kind of relationship. Just show you the picture again. Between two unrelated carnivores, and visitors love to observe them together. Mauchen is the oldest known female Asiatic bear. She is a member of a medium-sized forest species whose wild habitat includes parts of Afghanistan, the Himalayas, mainland Southeast Asia, and Russian Far East, and Japan. She has spent her life well cared for in captivity. On any given day, she might be seen sprawled out in a bed of hay, with Mushi by her side, or lying with the cat in the sun, the two absorbing the day's warmth together. They go halves on meals of raw meat, dead mice, and fruit. And during a period of separation, while the bear exhibit was renovated, the cat seemed troubled and waited around until she could be reunited with Mauchen. Zoo staff encouraged the reunion after seeing how content the animals were in concert. Mushi can come and go from the enclosure as much as she likes, but she always comes back to the old bear, Kloss says. Their unusual relationship has lasted a decade, and there are no signs of a parting. There's the two of them together. Here's another picture. The next short story took place in California in the United States in 2009. This is The Bobcat, Kitten, and the Fawn. Cuteness overload. Oh my goodness. So sweet. Fire is no friend to wildlife. In any given year in California alone, there may be 50 or more big blazes a month that destroy hundreds of acres of habitat, displacing animals by the thousands. Many perish in the flames or after from stress or dehydration, but some lucky ones are rescued. That's what happened to a tiny fawn and a young bobcat during a major fire near Santa Barbara in 2009. It was May when many animals give birth, so the California forests were filled with wobbly-legged newborns. Other fires had already destroyed vast tracts of wild land that year, so surviving animals were extra vulnerable. The May fire was devastating. When rehabilitators from the Santa Barbara Animal Rescue Team picked up a particularly young deer, it was weak and wandering in the area where the fire had started, crying and alone. Because of the number of orphans being rescued, space at wildlife centers was scarce, so the sheriff's department offered its facility as temporary housing. show you the picture on this page. So sweet. We had a tiny kitten, a bobcat, already in a crate there, says Julia Decino, director of the team. We had rescued him on the governor's property and the animal needed round-the-clock care. We weren't sure he'd survive. When she brought in the fawn, she found that crates, like rehab space, were in short supply. There was no choice but to put the two young animals together, and that turned out to be just what they needed. As soon as we let the fawn in, the bobcat went right over to her, curled up, and went to sleep. They were both so exhausted and weak, they cuddled right up as one. The animals were only together for a couple of hours while rescuers found room for the fawn a few hours away. But it was such an important time, she says. It offered them both warmth and comfort and maybe alleviated their fear and loneliness. It was such a lovely bond. The rescue group, which on this occasion saved wildlife and domestic animals of all sorts, rehabilitates everything from ducks to foxes and eventually releases them into areas where habitat remains intact. After its much-needed rest with its bobcat friend, the fawn was relocated and placed with other fawns so it could grow up with its kind. Months later, when the fawn was a year old, the deer herd was set free. It's funny because a fawn would normally be a nice little morsel of food for a bobcat, an adult bobcat that is, says Decino. Instead, the cat, still in captivity for the time being, has since become a stealthy and successful hunter, but under the stress of the fire, the two natural foes found strength in each other. I'm sure it boosted their morale to be together in that critical time, Decino says. I'll show you another picture of the two buddies. Very sweet. And the final story that I'll read today from this book is The Cheetahs and the Anatolian Shepherds. And this took place in California in the United States in 2009. That is an absolutely gorgeous picture. Wow. In the African country of Namibia, where farmers and ranchers eke out a living on parched sandy soils, the cheetah is no friend to man. Livestock is a big and tasty temptation to the wildcats, especially during times of drought, when natural prey on the savanna is scarce. And when cheetahs come after livestock, people often shoot them, driven to protect their valuable resource. The Cheetah Conservation Fund came up with an inspired alternative: offer dogs to farmers to be raised as guardians of the flocks. Anatolian shepherds, first bred in central Turkey thousands of years ago, were chosen for the job. The dogs are big and loyal and know how to scare off an already skittish cat like a cheetah. Wild cheetahs face formidable foes in nature. Their ability and readiness to sprint is their best defense. Keeping the cheetahs from preying on sheep and goats protects them from farmers' bullets and helps take the stain off their reputation, both good strategies for keeping the species around in the future. The program has been wildly successful. I'll show you this adorable picture. Two cuties. Now here's a neat little twist. At zoos in the United States, those same shepherd dogs are being brought in not to chase cheetahs away, but to be their best friends. We've found so many benefits to pairing young cheetahs with domestic dogs, says Kim Caldwell, animal training manager at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Foremost, as they grow up together, the dog is a security blanket for this animal that's hardwired to be cautious, she says. Body language is key, and the dog, calm, loving, and adaptable, helps the cheetahs to relax and accept unfamiliar situations. That makes life less stressful for both the animal and the trainers. Cheetahs respond differently to us than to other four-legged furry animals with a wagging tail, Kim says. A dog will lick the cheetah's ears, let it pounce, and chew on him. Better to give the cats a 130-pound dog as a toy than one of us. That way they can really wrestle and play together, which is an important part of learning and socialization. The San Diego Zoo and Safari Park have also used various mixed breed pups in their cheetah program, but the shepherds are the best fit. Some mutts can be just unstoppable, Kim says. The shepherds are very mellow as puppies. Though always ready to roughhouse, they'll also lie down like a big rug and groom or be groomed, which cheetahs do a lot of the time. Remember, kids, Kim says, while most dogs could play 24 hours a day, cats want to sleep for 20 of those hours. The animals do have some time apart and they always eat separately. Dogs inhale and cats chew, Kim says, so feeding time is where aggression could occur. But once a happy pairing is made between puppy and kitten, they are companions for life. Just going to show you that again. I love that picture. And I love this picture too. They just both seem so happy. So we're not done with this book yet. There are more stories to be read, but that's it for today. I'll see you next time for another group of stories to make you smile.